Hi everybody, Gisele Grenier here from ArtPlace.ca. Well, today's going to be I don't know how to explain. It's going to be a mishmash of stuff from an inspiration just because I was cleaning my Mr. bottles. And I just want to get you the piece of paper that inspired me. So I was cleaning the Mr. bottles and I sprayed that and I turned that over and I was inspired by this, by the lines in the paper, and not so much the color, but just the look of it. So I thought this is gonna be my jump off point. So I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff, not really paying attention to the materials per se, because I want to try to make something work. And because this is a book of backgrounds, it doesn't really matter what the final artwork looks like, because this is just a background. And when the book is finished, then I come back and do artwork on top of that. So what I've got some DecoArt fluid acrylics, and I'm not sure what color I'm going to end up using, but in the supply list with the video, you'll be able to see exactly what I am using. Transparent yellow iron oxide, transparent red iron oxide, for those of you who know me, my favorite colors, raw umber, and quinacridone gold. For the misters, again, not sure if I'm going to use all of these, but so I've got the shimmer misters of violet, turquoise, and yellow, and then I have the regular misters of primary magenta and purple. And I don't clean those very well, so they end up getting plugged up. I've got some decoupage medium. This is the napkin finish, and I've got some stencils. So I've got an Americana Decor stencil, which is script. It's a Paris script. And then I've got some Andy Skinner mixed media stencils, and I was thinking about doing something kind of vintage. So I've got the script, and then I've got some nice things happening in here, and then I've got some captured memories in time action, some stuff here. Then I've got the code breaker, which will take this into a modern thing, so a vintage modern. So I've got that. Whether I use them all, I have no idea. And then I grabbed a random piece of rice paper. Now, to just show you, people were asking me where I get all my stuff. I have a box, just these photo boxes, and I just fill it with napkins and papers and tissue and experiments. Like this is one that I did a gelatin print on, and this is like really, really cool. And I'll just use that as part of collage material. And, even taking a little piece of, oh, this is actually kind of cool. This is neat. I like that. So just pieces. Like I'm not a hoarder, but I just don't throw this stuff away because it can be used for anything. So that's where I put all my stuff. And I just found the spider right here within the box. Okay, pause. I'm gonna just grab that little guy and put him out the window. Okay, I'm back. Oh, he kept jumping, so I kind of had to fold him in a paper towel and throw him outside. We like spiders, but something that just freaked me out. Okay, so I've got this really cool paper here. It's got some fibers in it, so I thought I would do something with this, and then I'm gonna be using Terraskin, the multimedia block. And you can actually just use sheets of Terraskin. You don't have to use a block. You also can do this on watercolor paper, mixed media paper, anything. So I chose to use this. I've got my no stick mat, which is curling. And I had an incident with Chaos. She was doing the intro video for the book of backgrounds. She jumped on my palette, took her off. She got paint all over her, and then she jumped back on, and then this came crashing down. So I think it's time to buy another one. All right, got some brushes. I've got a container way over here of brushes. So that's heavy. So I've got those, but I'm thinking of a filbert, a bristle, then my glue brush, palette paper, and my brush basin with the cover. So when I'm away from the studio, I just put the cover on because Chaos likes drinking that water. And my trusty old Mr. bottle filled with water. All right, so because terrace skin is paper made from stone, it really doesn't absorb. The paint sits on top and then dries. I thought that would be kind of cool to see what I can do with the paint and with the mister. So the first thing I'm thinking about, I want to do something with this, and what I really love is that the stencil runs right off the paper. It doesn't really matter what it says. It's actually perfect size. And I'm gonna put that there, and I'm thinking I'm going to use the transparent yellow iron oxide. So I'm going to put a little bit of that here, and the transparent red iron oxide for the outside edges. Again, I have absolutely no plan for this. This is all about fun, and I actually like when things don't work out, because I learned then to recycle the pieces. Too often I hear people throwing out their art, and I think just upcycle it to something else. Should never have to throw anything away. And I've got my trusty old paper towel, so I'm going to start working from the outside in, and because the brush is easier going from light to dark, I'm going to start with a transparent yellow iron oxide, dry brush. I should use a stencil brush, but I'm too lazy to get it. And let's see how this paper absorbs the stencil. Oh, I like that. It's kind of rough looking. So I'm going to continue on with that. It's all about experimenting. So if you're comfortable using, a certain type of paper, use something else. It's all about experimenting. You also can only do half the words. And for cleaning, for the big stencils, I just use 1000 plus stain removers, also known as winning colors, because I can just soak this in a big tray. For the smaller stencils, I will use that are not too dirty. I'll use the decoupage stencil cleaner. I am very, very rough on this stuff, and I think I want to enhance this. Leonardo da Vinci. I think I want to enhance that. All right, without moving the stencil, I'm going to go now to, let's see, quinacridone gold is an orange. I'm going to do orange next, which is this one here. They're so similar. Yeah, quinacridone gold is this one. And I'm just going to do some of these. We're going to be spraying on top of this. Now in these videos, if you've been following me, you know the process that I work with my videos, that I gear them towards beginners and to people who are kind of stuck, not knowing what to create. So I don't edit out my mistakes. What I do edit out is if Mia starts to bark like crazy, or if there's excessive noise outside. Mia's in day camp today, so I'm all right. And if you're advanced, then you can just fast forward. It's almost like a disclaimer that I have to say every time I do a video. So I'm just pouncing, 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 pouncing. And I'm going over all the white spots of the letters. Sorry, not all the white spots, just random. Then I'm going to go to the transparent red iron oxide and work the outside letters. And as I run out of paint, then I'll come in to do some of the inside. You can do this any way you want. Use whatever stencil you have. If you don't have a stencil, use a stamp. If you don't have a stamp, take a piece of cardboard and just cut out a whole bunch of shapes inside it. My experiment with this is just layering a bunch of stencils and using the shimmer misters. The raw umber, I'm thinking, Ooh, that is so neat. I'm going to take some of that, a little bit of raw umber, just a speck. And I want to just create some darker letters around the edges. And I want to enhance Leonardo da Vinci, the word, the name. I did a, while I'm doing this, I'll talk away because I don't like skipping ahead to finished step. I just finished doing a video series for how drawing outlines using a grid system, and I was showing the method that Leonardo da Vinci was using, and I did quite a bit of reading. I already knew he did it, but I just like reading some of the stuff that he's done. Inventions and yeah, that's nice. So anywhere Leonardo's name. I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, had an idea of what I wanted to do. Okay, so typically I would just stop the video and clean that right away. And I'm looking at this now, and I'm looking to see how fast it's drying. And oh, it actually dried really quickly. Right now it's about 39 degrees Celsius. We're in a heat wave. I have the window open because the sun hasn't gone to the west yet. So, okay, that's dry. I can start going. So I'm thinking now I want to do a shimmer mist. I want to see, yeah, I wanted to make sure that that was still transparent. Let's see what happens with the shimmer mist. So let's put Journey. I like that. I like Journey. I'm going to get some tape. And kind of masking it out because I want to see really what it's going to look like. And yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. I'm going to grab some palette paper. No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a fresh paper towel because this is really thick. I want to do this because I want to use this in another painting. Look what I just did. I am so sloppy. So sloppy. I want to bring that here. So right about there. So I'm going to cover that. And I'm going to cover that. So that tape should get to the paper. And I'm going to cover that. And what I'm hoping is going to happen, I'm going to spray. It's going to go through the rice paper and go right into the onto the terra skin. I actually have sheets of acetate for this. All right. I'm just using purple. Let's see what happens. And when you're done, I turn it upside down into my little wastebasket, and I spray to clear out the pump. I'll just take all this paper towel now, put it aside. No, that didn't go through. What's this look like? Well, so it was just too absorbent. I think the mister just put up way too much liquid, but that's fine. I'm going to work it like that. I want to tear. Now, normally I would just let that dry. I want to tear. Really rough tear. I don't want any. These were cut with scissors. I don't want any of that stuff showing. I want rough. And I'm going to I can, yeah, that's nice. I'm going to bring it off the edge a bit so when I collage it. And that is, you know what? Let me try something else. I have no idea if this is going to work. This brush. I'm just going to take the paint that's sitting, the shimmer that's sitting on top of the stencil. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it does. It's. I don't like wasting anything. That's neat. That's kind of cool. So what if what I have, what's left over. It's a film strip. Bring vintage and modern together. I was thinking about this would be pretty cool as a steampunk piece, but I'm very comfortable with steampunk. I wanted to do something different. Love it. Because all this stuff can be used for collage and all that stuff. That worked out all right. You know what? I'm going to keep that for something else. I'm going to go in here. Do I have anything vintage in here? Copy. Ooh. Yeah, like that. Okay. So I did it. don't ask me which video it is. I did a video on making your own stamped tissue paper. Are you dry yet? Yeah. So I'm going to do some collage now. That's dry. Oh, put this in water. This one's been a while since I used it. The decoupage medium has got to be some of the strongest that I have ever used. Yeah, that's right on there. Go right to the corner. Just gonna stencil some random pieces. Like I said, there's no plan. When it comes to the background, for this particular background, there's really no plan. And then when it's dry, I'll fold it over and I'll collage it there. And whatever mess I make on the back, that'll inspire my next piece. And what side? This goes on this side. You can just use whatever you want. Yeah, so I'm thinking this one here be a modern vintage thing. Will that be transparent enough? I don't think so. And then I'm going to spray some more misters over the whole piece. Oops, that's a square edge. I hate square edges. Tear, tear, tear. I like to tear. You can leave them square if you want, or the hard edge. So I put the decoupage medium on the paper, and then I put the rice paper on top. And this is actually pretty good. It'll seep right through. Oops, brush hair. Okay. I really wanted to use this somehow. Probably still could, you know that? It doesn't speak to me right now. That's the thing. It doesn't speak to me, so I'm going to leave it. And with the no stick mat, all this gluey stuff, it'll come clean. It'll come clean right away. And yes, I could just cut the edges. Didn't want to. Now, if you're just joining in this video and you haven't seen the actual intro video, you can go to ArtPlace.ca and go to the Book of Backgrounds 2016. And as I'm doing this, some medium is actually getting on the reverse side, like where I'm doing this and I flip it over, and that's going to act as a resist. For drying, I actually have on the video set up, I'll put a clip and I'll just set this to dry. And but I don't know if you can see right there. See all that? That's all some decoupage medium that was on the thing. So I want to see what that does. Okay. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then when we come back, I'm gonna do some misting with some more shimmer sprays and a stencil. Okay, so this is pretty well, that's not completely dry, but it's pretty well dry. And what I did is the stencils, I cleaned them right off on just some random journal I just picked off the shelf. And all I did was I put the stencil on top. I took a kitchen wipe and I cleaned the stencil and it transferred to the paper. And just, there's another background ready to go. I took some pictures, which will be in the printable, just to show the different steps. That's kind of cool. So I've got this now, and now it's time to start doing some misting. And I was thinking I was just going to mist it and then leave it. I want to darken this a little bit, and I was going to mist it first, then put the acrylics on. But when I do the wash of the acrylics, I didn't want the misters to dissolve. So I'm just taking a very washy, very watery mixture of paint. And if this was a commission, I would actually use medium and not so much water, because using too much water breaks down the strength of the acrylics. So you can see here, that's where some of that decoupage medium was. Right over everything. Oh, I have a hard edge. Oh no! I'll have to make sure I fix that when I actually work the background. And I'm just gonna put that in there. And that should be, use all that up. That should be dry enough, or should be enough. Yeah, let's see what happens when I put some paper towel on here. Yeah, I get some texture. Let's see if I can get my hands in there. Cool. I like that. And when using Terraskin, one thing to be careful of is when you use a heat gun to dry anything, just don't use it too close. I did an experiment a couple of years ago with the Terraskin, what would happen with too much heat, and it just goes like that. Let's rub that in there. See, look at how easy it is just to create some random background. Okay, that's wet enough, and what I'm going to do now is let's do a little bit of spring. So I also have, I made up a mixture. What is this? This is shimmer yellow, primary yellow, orange and purple. I wanted to make like a goldy brown, so I've got that made up as well. And I'm going to probably stick just more with the pinks. I may throw in a little bit of turquoise in there. And this is quite messy. I don't clean these very well, but let's see what happens. And just cover your stuff up. So I'm going to be misting this way. So what happens if we do that? Let's just see. Leave that. Get that there. Let's get a random shape. And if we do This one here. This one's really kind of plugged up. That's kind of cool. I want to do the yellow. The yellow, a lot more of the yellow. It goes right into orange. Oh, you know what? That's. I wonder if I can get it to drip. Nope. It's drying too fast. If I take water, I'm going to hold it up. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Let's get just enough water on there just to start some drippage. Oh, that's kind of cool. And we'll stop right there. That's neat. That is so cool. I wish I could have been more straight, but you know what? Who cares? That's pretty neat. That's gonna have to dry before I do anything. I like that that look there. Now if I take yellow and then I take, where's the red? Oh, the red is actually plugged up. Let's take some of this. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna hold it up. Have it get all misty and all that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. Oh, that is so cool. It looks like marbling. I'm gonna let that dry just like that. Okay, and that I'm thinking is gonna take probably about 15 minutes. So instead of wasting your time, we'll just come back when it's dry. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes and I've decided to try something else in this because the paint was just kind of running down off the paper, and I thought I did a blot just so it didn't fall on the floor, and I really like what I did, so I'm gonna do another one. That's what I like about these experiments. I've got my handprint. That's what I love about these experiments. You really can just do whatever you want. Let's see what happens if I wipe out. I think my head was in the way. I wipe out some of the paint. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. I do another one here. I'm standing up so I can get some good pressure on this. I'm just using a kitchen wipe. If you don't have a kitchen wipe, that's fine. Just use a baby wipe. Getting right in there. Oh, I hope my head wasn't in the way again. Sorry. Get rid of that hard line. This is interesting. A lot of color. That is really interesting. I think it would make for a really nice background if we put transparent paper on top of that, or if you made like, if you took some deli paper and made this like a window. And I'm thinking of this inspiration piece here, this type of thing. If you took some deli paper and put something here, or like a window, I think that would actually be really cool. And look at this. I don't want to do any more. I don't want to do any more to that. Where's his name? Oh, his name is actually okay. His name is okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave that. That actually is pretty neat. I think I have an idea on what to do on this, but unlike the intro, I am not going to create the art on this. I'm going to wait for the whole book to be done, and then we'll come back and do the backgrounds. So there we go. So I'm going to let this dry, and then that'll be ready to go. Now, when I do the other side here, I'm going to use all this as part of the background inspiration. And now if you create a background that you absolutely love, okay, what you can do is you can put some masking tape, low-tack masking tape on the edge, so the paint won't bleed through, and that way whatever you do on here, it won't transfer onto here. And I've got this tape here, which is the Painter's Mate tape, which doesn't work because it'll actually pull off probably the decoupage. I'm going to try frog tape. That's supposed to be pretty good. But for this background, if something were to seep over, it wouldn't bother me. So I like this more rustic than this. So I didn't get the vintage modern that I wanted, but I think I'll get the more of it's almost like a tie-dye, rock and roll type of thing, bright colors, you know, love, peace, and all that stuff. That's what I'm seeing this, and then I see Leonardo da Vinci's name. So I'm going to make a play on that when I do the background. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you got some ideas to spin off your own background. So create your background, get it in your book, and then I will see you in the next video.